Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is the Fab Family. And my name is Dfabfamily. You guys like to call me Fab Daddy. We just have one very small gist for you guys today. Very small gist. If you're new on this channel, I'll say a very big welcome. And if this is not your first time, welcome back to the channel. Some or most of you guys know that recently my wife and I we celebrated our wedding anniversary. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? So we got talking and we got into a conversation, and I just thought to bring it on here. And I say this not as a means of disrespect. It's just we're going somewhere. Just flow with me, you know. Please, I want you to understand that I'm saying this I'm saying this from a perspective of a Christian, a believer. Yes. So if you can relate, that's good. If you cannot relate, just you might get 1 or 2 points from this. Yeah. So you have a pastor or a leader in a religious sense. You have parents, you have people around you, you have mentors and all of that. From the way I see it, when it concerns relationship, you go into someone to tell them about your relationship, to pray over your relationship, to get counsel, advice on your relationship. They carry a lot of weight. I know that for a lot of people, they carry a lot of weight, and they are in a place to give you sound counsel, to give you advice, to give you direction. Quite a lot of things you cannot see, they can see it because you are the one that wants to go in a relationship, or you are the one in a relationship. So maybe you are clouded by judgment, and some things have clouded your judgment, emotions. You're already, loving up and all that. But they are not in a relationship. They can see very clearly a lot of things you cannot see, and a lot of times they have experience. Yeah, so they're in a very good place. This video is not to dismiss that role of a pastor or that role of a leader or that role of a parent. It is not to rubbish them. It is not to disrespect or dismiss their counsel. Please, in the multitude, I don't need to be quoting all of these things for you. So let me get straight to the point. What led up to this conversation is that, and I think my wife mentioned some of it, and I might have said some of these things before. But I think this conversation comes up every year whenever we have our wedding anniversary, and we just reflect and have some throwbacks. We just think about these things. When my wife and I were to get into a relationship, we were still in school, we were still in the university, and we felt at the time, we knew at the time, we didn't just feel, because we still give that advice to people, that in times like that, especially when you hold a leadership position or you have people that you are accountable to, you let them know. You want to get into a relationship or you are in a relationship, let them know this is how it's going, this is the person, the guy or the lady, and all that, which we did. Now, most of the negative feedbacks we got were from our pastors. Not like carrying the title of pastors, but were from people who we looked up to. Let me put it that way. Were from people who we looked up to. Most of the negative feedbacks came from them. And it was not because not one person said outrightly that this is what God is saying, or this is not the person you should marry, or they did not nail it like that. But it came with some kind of disappointment. And the disappointment had more to do with me than had nothing to do with my wife. Because at the time, my wife was the head of a department in church. For me, I was just, I was there. I had friends around. I had good friends. I had very bad friends. I had good company. I also had very bad company. I had some very bad friends I was with at the time. I had a lot of female friends around me. You couldn't really see who I was dating. You see me with this lady today. You see me with another lady next week. So it was not as if they were saying that, no, this guy is terrible, this guy is bad. It's just, you are too good for this guy. So he came with that kind of disappointment. Like, some people could bet that this guy was just playing with you. This guy, he doesn't have good intentions towards you. He just wants to play with you. He's just still playing around. Maybe he wants to make you one of those girls that are around him, something like that. So he came with that kind of disappointment. Again, I'm saying this not to shade anyone, and I'm saying this not to, it's so that we can learn together. I think this thing, it has been on my mind for a while. I didn't want to make the video, then I thought, okay, let's just rub minds together. So that made it more difficult, not for me, because me, I was just chilling. That made it more difficult for my wife, you know, because there were so many, a lot of negative feedbacks. Oh, this guy is just playing, oh, this, oh, that. You know, so it just made it more difficult for her to focus or for her to really do what she wanted to do. You get what I mean? And I remember someone said at the time, I am highly disappointed in you. Someone told my wife that. I am highly disappointed in you. So they didn't say that, look at the kind of guy or look at the kind of person. No, no, no. So, but we got the picture at the time. Like, you, Edosha, very spiritual, very nice lady, very innocent. How will you, this guy, Femo Lala? Like, come on. So we did not put in extra effort to prove anyone wrong. So that's what I'm going to. We did not put in any kind of extra effort to put anyone. We understood at the time that if this relationship works out, it is on the both of us. And if it does not work out, it is still on the both of us. Some people were waiting to say, to hear that, oh, they've broken up. Hey, I said it. I knew that guy was just playing around. The reason I was saying this is because when we eventually got married, there were a lot of reactions, even more reactions than when we wanted to get into a relationship. And the reactions were, you don't mean it. So these people actually got married. So this guy was serious eventually. So this thing really worked out. So this, so that, so again, we did not really pay attention to those things. I'm a kind of person that let the whole world be talking. What I want to do, that thing that's inside my mind, is what I would do. And I don't care what anybody says. I've always been like that. I like the noise. I love the reactions. But my wife, she doesn't like, all those distractions and stuff. I like it. She doesn't. Which brings me to my point. As much as these counsels are good for you, I would say that anywhere. As much as this guidance, the counsel, the advice, all these things are good for you, know that it is still up to you. Yes, it is up to you and your partner to make things work. And if things do not work out, it is still the both of you, no one else. When this is, I think about 13 years now, everything God told me about my relationship, everything God told me about my marriage, everything God told me about my wife at the time, I remember everything word for word. No, none of these people were there. It was just me and my God. Everything God told my wife, none of these people were there. It was just her and her God. So the conviction we had was based on the relationship we had with God. None of these people were there. And that was what backed up our decision at the time. That if God has given me the go ahead, I'm going ahead. I don't care what anybody else says, including these pastors that we're talking about. Now, I'm not asking you to go against your pastor. I'm not asking you to go against your parents. I'm not asking you to go against your leaders. I'm just giving you an understanding that you yourself, you need to have a relationship with God. You don't need to wait for someone to pray. I'm not saying the prayer is not good, but you don't need to you don't need to wait for someone to pray for God to show them who you will marry, or for God to confirm to them who you will marry. It just sounds somehow to me. Except you don't know who you are in God, except you don't know the God you serve, or except you don't have a relationship with God. Maybe God doesn't talk to you. I'm privileged and I'm grateful that at least, even if it's not every time, God still talks to me once in a while. And I'm really grateful for that. So I hope you guys get my point. I've heard pastors say that, or when they came to me or when I was counseling them, I already knew at the time that this marriage was going to crash or that this relationship was not going to work. It happens like that. But no pastor can say to me, and I'll believe, that every relationship they have ever said that about eventually crashed. If you get what I mean. Some will definitely work out. Some will crash and they'll say, yes, I knew that it wasn't going to work out. But some will work out. They might not talk about the ones that eventually worked out, but they will capitalize on the ones that eventually crashed. In the same vein, no, I don't want to be hammering pastors. I just want you guys to get the point. Let me use people now. So people will say that People will see some relationships or some marriages, oh, these people really fit, oh, they love God, they serve God, or I think they are really good people, their marriage is going to work, they are going to, you really had very high hopes for the relationship or for the marriage, and they eventually crashed. So it's really not about the external opinion, it's about the two people involved. And that's the point I'm trying to drive. It's about the two people involved. We have seen some of these people that counsel other people, some of these people who are in leadership positions, some pastors, some leaders, their own relationships eventually crashed. We've seen a lot of that. I'm not using this to get back at anyone. Me ò fi yọ anybody, mo fi ń gbórúkọ Ọlọ́run ga. No, I'm not. Honestly, just try to get my point. So we also have people, we have leaders that their relationship did not eventually work out. We have some people that will tell you that God said this, no, God is giving me the leading, and it eventually did not work out. Which brings me back to the point I'm trying to drive. The most important people are the two people involved. I hope you get my point. Please don't misinterpret what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say pastors are bad. I'm not trying to say leaders are bad. I'm not trying to say don't go for advice, don't go for counsel. These things are very important. These things are things that have helped me and my wife in our marriage. So I would always advise that for everyone. But the most important thing, the most important people are the two people involved. Which brings me to the sponsors of today's video. I know some of our very consistent subscribers would have seen this with me. Now, whenever I want to chill, whenever I want to relax, I want to listen to music, I just want to get away from the house, from the children, from every kind of stress. I just want to relax. This is what I use. It is the Tozo headphone. I know some of you have seen it. And today, I'm bringing to you another one. Now, there are times I feel that I just need something small, maybe not this big. I just need something light, which brings me to this. This is the Tozo NC3 active noise cancellation. Now, one thing that I love about this product, I've been using it for maybe up to a year or more than a year now. I can't remember for how long. But one thing I really love is the consistency of the quality. Now, I've used some products in the past that will be very consistent when you start using it. Then, as time goes on, the quality will reduce or something will happen. It's very sturdy, very solid, and very consistent. So, I've not even thought about getting another brand, getting another product, or looking for options. Once it works for me, I'm very fine with it. So, we'll just unbox this together in a moment. This is Tozo NC3 Active Noise Cancellation. And I'll put the link in the description box. The link, if I can find the link to this one, I'll put the link to this one and I'll put the link of their website in the description box. So please do well to go on there and place your order. With this, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you learned a thing or two. If there's something you would also like to share, or there's something you feel that we can learn from, please drop it in the comment section and we'll be there together. Thank you for watching today's video. We'll see you in the next one. It go be.